It's nighttime in the big city. A hot dog vendor drains water from his cart. There's a low cloud cover. This is Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
Welcome to Theme Time Radio Hour. Today's episode is all about the U.S. mail. I don't mean the red-blooded type. I mean the one that comes in an envelope that you stick a stamp on and you send it to someone. Samuel Johnson said, in a man's letters, his soul lies naked.
'Cause I wrote you a letter and this is what I said.
We'll be talking about love letters, pen pals, going postal, ransom notes, letters to Dear John and Dear Abby. Miss Lonely Hearts will be returning things to sender, and we'll be telling you that the check's in the mail. You know, when we come up with these themes, we try to stay away from the obvious choices. But occasionally, there are songs that you just have to play, like this one. Here are the Marvelettes, and Please, Mr. Postman.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, hey, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman, look and see. Oh yeah. Is there a letter in your bag for me? Please, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah. Since I heard from this portrait of mine, there must be some word today from my boyfriend who's so far away. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Is there a letter for me? I've been standing here waiting, Mr. Postman, so patiently, for just a card, for just a letter, say he needs returning home to me. Please, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah. Please, Mr. Postman. So many days you passed me by. You saw the tears standing in my eyes. You wouldn't stop to make me feel better by leaving me a card or a letter. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Is there a letter, oh yeah, in your bag for me? You know it's been so long. Yes, since I heard from this boyfriend of mine. You better wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, you better wait a minute. Please, Mr. Postman. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Please check and see just one more time for me. You better wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Please, Mr. Postman. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Deliver the letter, the sooner the better. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute, please, Mr. Postman. Wait a minute.
That was the Marvelettes. Please, Mr. Postman. Perhaps the most famous ex-postman was Benjamin Franklin. He was the first postmaster general, and he established the foundation for many of the systems the post office still uses today. He was the subject of the first stamp to feature a person on it. All this, and he flew a kite in a lightning storm. Sometimes you can wait all day for a letter to come. Well, the Ravens had that same problem, and they recorded this song to describe that feeling. Here they are, the Ravens, with Jimmy Ricks on lead vocal, Write Me a Letter.
Write me a letter, say I'm still your fella, 'cause I'm lonesome as a man can be. 'Cause I haven't been myself since you said goodbye to me. Yeah, Yes, I wrote my gal a letter, and this is what I had to say. Yes, I wrote my gal a letter, and this is what I had to say. Man, you know how I feel if you ever had a gal like me. I said, let me hear from you, baby, let me hear from you right away. Yes, let me hear from you, baby, please let me hear from you. 'Cause I haven't been myself, baby, since you went away. When you were here with me, baby, I took you for a square. Now I'm biting off my nails and pulling out my hair. Right me, honey. Well, baby. Yes, just right me, baby. Yes, I'm walking around in circles, but it ain't no fault of mine. Yes, keep walking around in circles, but it ain't no fault of mine. I miss you so much, you've been gone such a long, long time. I can't eat, sleep, I'm pacing the floor. You got me doing things, baby, that I never did before. It's been a long time, baby, since well, baby, so darn worried, don't know yes, honey. The neighbors say that I'm blowing my top, 'cause the mailman passes and he never stops. So write me a letter, say I've seen your fella, 'cause I won't be myself till you hurry on to me.
That was Jimmy Ricks and the Ravens, and you got to wonder, why don't piano players play like that anymore? A song recorded by the National Record Label, Write Me a Letter, here on Theme Time Radio Hour, the postal edition. Some people think that email's not quite fast enough. Well, they should have been around in the 1840s. Mail took forever to reach the West Coast back then. In March 1860, William H. Russell, who was an American transportation pioneer, placed an advertisement in the newspaper. Here's what it said. Wanted, young skinny wiry fellas, not over 18, must be expert riders, willing to risk death daily. Orphans preferred. He was looking for riders for what became the Pony Express. When they were recruited, the riders had to swear on a Bible not to cuss, fight, abuse their animals, and to conduct themselves honestly. On an average day, a rider covered 75 to 100 miles. The first mail by Pony Express from St. Joe to Sacramento took 10.5 days. There were 200 Pony Express riders, among them Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody. Alex Chilton was all of 16 years old when the songwriters Chips Bowman and Dan Penn found him. They put him in front of a group called the Backstops and recorded this song, which went to the top of the charts in 1967. Here's Alex Chilton along with the Backstops and The Letter.
Give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. I don't care how much money I gotta spend. Got to get back to my baby again. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. When she wrote me a letter, said she couldn't live without me no more. Listen, mister, can't you see I got to get back to my baby once more? Anyway, yeah, give me a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. When she wrote me a letter, said she couldn't live without me no more. listen, mister, can't you see I got to get back to my baby once more? Anyway, yeah, get a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a-going home. My baby just wrote me a letter. My baby just wrote me a letter.
That was The Letter by Alex Chilton and the Box Tops. After leaving the Box Tops, Alex had another band called Big Star, which was a cult favorite among bands like R.E.M. and The Replacements. Fortunately, he was able to keep working in music and never had to work at the post office. Not that there's anything wrong with that. By the way, The Letter is the second shortest single to reach number 1. It's under 2 minutes long. The only song shorter was Stay by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs.
Help your post office deliver the mail by using zip code on every address. Mail moves the country. Zip code moves the mail.
The first mail order catalog was sent out by Montgomery Ward. Not the store, the guy. In 1872, Monty sent it out for his mail order business in Chicago. It was a single sheet of paper with a price list showing the merchandise for sale and ordering instructions. Imagine the look on a mailman's face when he finds out he has to deliver a tractor. Here's a song about a man who hides in a mailman's sack. It's the only way he can get to see his baby. Here's Tiny Bradshaw, Mailman's Sack.
Yes, the postman came, and the postman went, and he left the mail that my baby sent. No, she didn't say yes. Yes, she didn't say no. But from what I read, yes, I got to go. I'm gonna paste a stamp in the middle of my back. Gonna jump right in that mailman's sack. I'll be wearing a tag in the mailman's bag. Once I'm in the sack, ain't no turning back. Oh, walking. And beat out on the street, but I won't stay put. Gonna make it by foot. Oh my, I do that do need to stay. I do that do need to stay. I'm riding in that mailman's sack.
That was Tiny Bradshaw, a mailman's sack. It's not as unusual as it sounds. Tony Cohen was asked by his professor to write about a favorite piece of history. He decided to write about Henry Box Brown, who mailed himself to New York in a wooden crate in the days of the Underground Railroad. Tony didn't just write about it. He mailed himself to New York in a wooden packing crate. He got there fine, but it was so hot in the box during travel that he had to cut his pants off with a pocket knife. Strange but true.
I'll take it, Billy Ray.
Oh, no, you don't. The mail must go through.
I'm standing right here. Hand it to me, Billy Ray.
You're not an authorized receptacle.
Well, he's an official of this county.
Means nothing to me. I'm a Fed.
Wait till you park that mail truck of yours in an illegal spot sometime.
As long as I'm carrying registered mail, I got the right of way over ambulance, police cars, fire engines, and heavier than aircraft.
Put a mail sack on some people, goes right to their heads.
Right now, I'd like to clear up one of the big mysteries in life. Ronald Bertram Aloysius Greaves III. Maybe you know better as R.B. Greaves. I know I always wondered what the R.B. stood for. I knew it couldn't be roast beef. A lot of people know him as a one-hit wonder, but his story is much more interesting. He was the nephew of Sam Cooke, and he wrote a lot of songs. As a matter of fact, recently Motown Records put out 2 unreleased songs by a band called the Minor Birds, which was a short-lived group that featured both Rick James and Neil Young. Guess who wrote both sides of that record? You guessed it, R.B. Greaves. Here he is. Take a letter, Maria.
Last night as I got home, about 10:30, there was the woman I thought I knew in the arms of another man. I kept my cool, I ain't no fool. Let me tell you what happened then. I packed some clothes and I walked out, and I ain't going back again. So take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Say I won't be coming home, gotta start a new life. We'll take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer, gotta start a new life. You've been many things, but most of all, a good secretary to me. And it's times like this I feel you've always been close to me. Was I wrong to work nights to try to build a good life? All work and no play has just cost me a while. So take a letter, Maria, no, address it to my wife. Say I won't be coming home, gotta start a new life. We'll take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer, gotta have a new life. When a man loves a woman, it's hard to understand that she would find more pleasure in the arms of another man. I never really noticed how sweet you are to me. It just so happens I'm free tonight. Would you like to have dinner with me? We'll take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Say I won't be coming home, gotta start a new life. Oh, take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Send a copy to my lawyer, gotta have a new life. We'll take a letter, Maria, address it to my wife. Say I won't be coming home.
That was R.B. Greaves talking to his secretary from 1969. Take a letter, Maria. I always enjoy hearing from Marianne Faithfull. She knows what we're talking about today. This is what she had to say.
I don't do email myself, but I do like writing letters. If I sit down to write you a letter, it's because I've thought about it and I'm thinking about saying something particular. Real words and thought behind it. And it's an art that we've lost, isn't it?
Thanks, Marianne. A little earlier in the show, we played a song about hopping in a mailman's sack. Seems to be a popular topic. Woody Guthrie wrote a song about the very same thing. We're going to play a version of it from a tribute to Woody, sung by Earl Robinson. Earl was one of the central figures in American folk music. During the summer of '36, he wrote the song Joe Hill. During the '40s, he moved to Hollywood. He composed the music for television shows such as The Great Man's Whiskers and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. We'll play some of his music one of these days. But right now, here he is, singing a song written by Woody Guthrie, Mail Myself to You.
I'm gonna mail myself a letter. I'm gonna daub myself with glue. Stick some stamps on top of my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. I'm gonna tie me up in red strings. I'm gonna fix blue ribbons too. Then I'm gonna climb up in my mailbox. I'm gonna mail myself to you. I'm gonna mail myself a letter. I'm gonna daub myself with glue. Stick some stamps on top of my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. Take me out of my wrapping paper. Wash them stamps right off of my head. Fill me full of ice cream sodies. Tuck me in my nice warm bed. Because I'm gonna mail myself a letter. I'm gonna daub myself with glue. Stick some stamps on top of my head. I'm gonna mail myself to you. I'm gonna mail myself to you.
That was Earl Holly Robinson in a Woody Guthrie song called Mail Myself to You, here on Theme Time Radio Hour, the Postal Edition. There's lots of songs written about different kinds of letters. Here's one you might not know. It's by a group called the Medallions. It was written by the lead singer, Vernon Green. In this song, The Letter, Vernon Green invents some new English and talks about the sweet words of bismutality and the pulpitudes of love. The actor John Cryer wrote and starred in a movie called The Pompatus of Love. He interviewed Vernon and asked him what those words meant. Vernon told him, "Pismotality described words of such secrecy that they could only be spoken to the one you loved." And pulpitudes was coined to mean a secret paper doll fantasy, like a puppet that would be my everything and bear my children. Here's the letter. Vernon Green and the Medallions.
Darling, darling, oh, how I love you, really do, but you just won't be true. Darling, I'm writing this letter, knowing that you ain't ever read it. But each time I write you, darling, I pen where lips can't say. Because I love you, although you're so far away. My words carry meaning that love alone can't tell. And always hope and wish you well. Oh, my darling, please hear my plea. Please. Darling, what is there worse on this earth than to be unable to stop loving you, knowing well that I should? To me, a black day, to me a black night, and to kiss and love and then have to fight. Oh, my darling, let me whisper sweet words of pismotality and discuss the pulpitudes of love and put them together. And what have you had? Matrimony. Oh, my darling, please hear my plea. Darling, darling, oh, how I love you, really do, but you just won't be true.
That was Vernon Green and the Medallions. Vernon was discovered at age 16. He was walking down the street singing when Dootsy Williams heard him and signed him up for his record label, Dutone. Creator of Words, Vernon Green, and the mysterious Letter. Most letters are delivered by the U.S. Postal Service, who handled 44% of the world's mail. Japan is a distant second. They only handle 6%.
Holy smoke, it's from the post office department, and they've offered me a job.
A job? A job?
Yeah, it seems Mr. Nicholson has decided to resign, and they want me to take his place.
You mean you're going to be a postman?
Sure.
Oh, just imagine that, Mother.
Yes, a thing like this could easily bring back the carrier pigeon.
Our next artist joined the High Tone label, where he first recorded this song. But we're going to play the version from 1949 that he recorded for King. I've always been partial to the band he had around that time. Here he is, Memphis Slim. A Letter Home.
Hello, baby. Baby, this is a letter home. Well, hello, baby. Baby, this is a letter home. All I wanna know is my babe still all alone. Well, tell me, pretty baby, please tell Dad the truth. Please tell me, pretty baby, please tell Dad the truth. Well, should I come home, baby? Or tell me, is there any you? Well, I've been gone so long, I know things ain't what they used to be. Well, I've been gone so long, I know things ain't what they used to be. Well, but I've had all my trouble. There's nothing else can worry me. Well, if you got somebody else, babe, I'll go to another town. Well, if you got somebody else, babe, I'll go to another town. Well, I'll never live around here and let you and Shorty bring me down.
Memphis Slim and A Letter Home. I'm sure all you jazz fans recognized that after Slim sings Things Ain't Like They Used to Be, the saxophone players play the riff from the Duke Ellington song of the same name. Slim toured Europe with Willie Dixon in the early 60s. He liked it so much that he permanently moved to Paris, where blues musicians were treated with respect they often didn't receive back home.
Walter, how do you write such good social letters?
Well, Nora, it's a talent. You see, different letters have different purposes. They do all kinds of things.
There's many kinds of letters. We've talked about a few of them here. Here's another one. It's called the Dear John Letter, and it's a duet by Gene Shepard and Ferlin Husky. Jean was born in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, and she played bass in an all-girl band called the Melody Ranch Girls. She teamed up with Ferlin Husky. His first records were ignored, but this duet with Gene Shepard became a hit, and he followed it up with a whole mess more. Here's where it all started from. A Dear John letter. Gene Shepard and Ferlin Husky.
Dear John, oh, I hate to write. Dear John, I must let you know tonight that my love for you has died away like grass upon the lawn. And tonight I'll wed another, dear John.
I was overseas in battle when the postman come to me, and he handed me a letter. I was as happy as I could be, for the fighting was all over and the battle had been won. Then I opened up the letter and it started, Dear John.
Dear John, oh, how I hate to write. Dear John, I must let you know tonight that my love for you has died away like grass upon the lawn. And tonight I'll wed another, dear John. Dear John,
Will you please send back my picture? My husband wants it now. When I tell you who I'm wedding, you won't care, dear, anyhow. Now the ceremony has started, and I'll wed your brother, Don. Will you wish us happiness forever, dear John?
That was Gene Shepard and Ferlin Husky with a Dear John letter. Some of you might not know what a Dear John letter is. It was a letter from a woman to her boyfriend or husband telling him she wants out. In World War II, these letters became so common that the women wouldn't write anything else except for Dear John. Just seeing those two words told the guy it was all over. That's how the phrase, that's all she wrote, came into popular usage.
Now listen, all you rounders who think your gal is true, don't ever be too certain, or you be singing too. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Didn't write no more. Didn't write no more. We hope the gloom's not hanging round your front door.
This is Theme Time Radio Hour, and we're talking all about the U.S. mail. Nowadays, we receive just as much mail, if not more, via the computer in the form of email. We're as modernist as tomorrow, so let's take a moment to answer a piece of email. Today's email is from Adair Brown. She writes us from Rye, New York. Here's her note. Dear Theme Time Radio Hour, I love the music you play, but maybe you can clear something up for me. I've been using my computer a lot lately, and I've noticed a lot of names of the websites sound like something you'd hear in a hippie movie. Think about it. Windows to the Universe, Google, Boing Boing, Shutterfly, and Gulp. These don't sound like business things. What do you think? Well, Adair, I can see your point. These names don't have the hard-edged feel of General Motors or Exxon. But look who created these. A lot of these computer guys used to be hippies. Though to be fair, they aren't totally hippies, because if they were totally hippies, we'd be going on websites with names like Tapioca Sunshine. Wait a second, that's not a bad idea for a name. And while I'm playing this next song, I'm going to go see how my bid's doing. I'm trying to get a thermos on eBay. Well, we've heard about Dear John letters. We heard the Ravens begging to receive a letter. But Fats Waller has a different take on the whole thing. Here's a song that's one of his best. He's gonna sit right down and write himself a letter and make believe it's coming from you. Sing it, Fats.
I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. I'm gonna write words oh so sweet, they're gonna knock me off my feet. A lot of kisses on the bottom, I'll be glad I got 'em. I'm gonna smile and say, I hope you're feeling better, and close with love the way you do. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you. Gonna smile and say, I hope you're feeling better, and close with love the way you do. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter and make believe, make believe it came from you.
That was Fats Waller. I'm gonna sit right down and write myself a letter. Fats was born in Harlem. His father was a Baptist lay preacher. He took up the piano at age 6 and also played the Hammond organ and the pipe organ, which he called the God box. He was a great singer as well as a piano player. Fats wrote himself a letter to make sure that the postman wouldn't show up at his house empty-handed. Our next artist has no such luck. His name's Gene Terry, born in Lafayette, Louisiana, but was raised in Port Arthur, Texas. I believe that's where Janis Joplin was from. He grew up listening to his father and grandfather performing Cajun songs. But when he formed his first band, the Cool Cats, in the mid-50s, he was doing straight-ahead country and western songs. But the rock and roll bug bit him, and he started playing louder and faster. The band changed their name to the Downbeats and recorded this song, No Mail Today, for the Gold Band record label.
No mail today, no mail for me. No mail today, no mail for me. Well, come back for the baby, swear I love you tenderly. Baby, swear I love you more and more. got to look, and I give her all my money. Well, come back with a baby. Swear I love you more and more. Back for the baby, swear I love you tenderly. Well, come back with a baby, swear I love you more and more.
That was Gene Cherry and the Downbeats. No mail today. Maybe somebody did send you mail, but it ended up in the dead letter office. Dead letter clerks handle 3 kinds of mystery mail. Misdirected letters, blind readings. They're called blind readings because to the average postal worker, the address would appear as if it was written while blindfolded. The third type is prank mail. People who work in the dead letter office were the only ones with the authority to open other people's mail. By the end of the 19th century, it was common for them to handle as many as 23,000 pieces of dead mail a day. In 1992, there were 2 large facilities, no longer called the Dead Letter Office. They were known as the Mail Recovery Centers. If they can't figure out where a letter was supposed to go, it is shredded. Packages, on the other hand, are different. Every single one of them is opened and inspected by hand. If they do find the owner, and that happens about a quarter of the time, they forward it to him without charge. You won't believe some of the things they find in these packages. They find books and CDs, but they also have found jewelry, drugs, guns, human remains, and even live animals. So make sure you put the address on it before you stick a stamp on it.
This is Deke Dickerson, and you're listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan.
You know that Gene Cherry record shared a Cajun sound to it, and that put me in the mood for our next artist, Joel Sonnier. Like Doug Sahm, he was a child prodigy and performer. He began to play accordion at age 3, and he was on the radio at age 6. He had his first recording session at age 11. This is from a few years after that, though, from an album he put out in 1987 that had 2 top 10 country hits on it. This one was written by Richard Thompson, but Joel does quite a job on it. It's called Tear-Stained Letter.
It was 3 in the morning when she took me apart. She wrecked the furniture, she wrecked my heart. She danced on my head like Murray. The scars ain't never gonna mend in a hurry. And just when I thought I could learn to forget her, right through the door come a tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, if it makes you feel better. Set it on down, a tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, if it makes you feel better. Set it on down, a tear-stained letter. Writing checks that my body couldn't cash. I got to my feet, I was reeling in the dizzy. I went for the phone, but the line was busy. Just when I thought that the things would get better, right through the door come a tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, if it makes you feel better. Set it on down, a tear-stained letter. the door come a tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, it makes you feel better. Set it on down, the tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, it makes you feel better. Set it on down, the tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, it makes you feel better. Set it on down, the tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, it makes you feel better. Set it on down, the tear-stained letter. Cry, cry, it makes you feel better. Set it on down, the tear-stained letter.
That was Joel Sonnier, who in 1995 became Male Vocalist of the Year by the Cajun French Music Association. If you have a tear-stained letter, odds are it's a rejection letter, probably by someone whom you love. However, some other people receive rejection letters in a business-like way. For example, Dr. Seuss once received a letter that said that his work was too different to warrant its selling. The Diary of Anne Frank was rejected. The letter said, "The girl doesn't have a special perception of feeling which would lift that book above the curiosity level." Rudyard Kipling was told, "You just don't know how to use the English language." John Kennedy Toole received so many rejection notices that he killed himself. His mother still believed in his book, and through her persistence, not only was it published, but his novel, Confederacy of Dunces, received a Pulitzer Prize in 1980. So don't forget, just because people reject you doesn't mean you're not good. The post office authorized the first experimental mail flight in 1911. By 1921, mail was flown both day and night, the entire distance from San Francisco to New York. What earlier had taken weeks could now be done in the space of a couple of days. Airmail was here to stay. While we're on the subject, here's a set of brothers from Carfax, Virginia, that are the longest active professional brother duet in country music history. 55 years, Jim and Jesse, with a song called Airmail Special.
Left New York this morning early, sack of mail so wide and high, sailing through the wide blue yonder, hit that airmail special on the fly. Listen to the motors humming, see her streaking through the sky, like a bird that's flying homeward. It's that airmail special on the fly. Over plains and high-top mountains, over rivers deep and wide, like a mighty galleon for you. It's that airmail special on the fly. to fly. Want your circle for a landing, hear more coffin sigh. Now she's coming down the runway, it's that airmail special on the fly.
That was Jim and Jesse with their band the Virginia Boys on Capitol Records and the Airmail Special on the Fly.
In 1918, the first airmail service was inaugurated between Washington, Philadelphia, and New York. And this was the first airmail stamp. It showed a Curtiss Jenny in flight. The first few sheets of these stamps, as a matter of fact, showed Jenny flying upside down. Those stamps with the inverted centers are worth something like $4,000 each today.
This next song isn't specifically about mail, but has a spoken recitation about 3 letters from the stages of your fine, fine, superfine courier. Well, I'll let you hear it for yourself. Hear the Velvet Tones and the Glory of Love.
You've got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Glory of love. You've got to.
Yes, you're way up on top now, and you want to be free. Why you feel that you're too good, much too good for a nobody like me. You're afraid to present me to the friends in your saddle. Well, darling, I guess it's best that we should part. But how soon you forget the fine, fine things you've done, and how just a little taste of success has gone straight to your pretty little head. I hold in my hand, dear, 3 letters. 3 letters from the stage of your fine, fine, superfine career. The first began, Eddie, darling, sweetheart, my wonderful one. I will always be grateful for the things that you've done. The second letter came right after I gave you your star. Yes, it came from your pen, dear, but not from your heart. The third, the king, the joke of the deck. You ended your letter in close, please sign my check. Why, you fool. You poor, sad, worthless, foolish fool. If you think that money can pay for the hard years I've suffered till things broke your way. Yes, I'm answering your last letter that says we must part. I'm tearing it to pieces the way you tore up my heart. I smile when you kiss me and I thrill at your touch. My only sin was I loved you much too much.
Win a little, lose a little, and always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Yes, story, glory of love.
There they go, the Velvet Tones. You poor, sad, foolish, worthless fool. I asked Billy Veer about the glory of love. Here's what he told me.
The Glory of Love by the Velvet Tones has, of course, that great recitation, which originally became famous by a guy named Larry Darnell, who was recording out in New Orleans with Paul Gayton's band. Yes, you're way up on top now, and you want to be free. Love it. I love it. Why, you fool, you poor, sad, worthless, foolish fool. I mean, it was one of the great raps of all time. 3 letters from the stages of your fine, fine, super fine career. The first began, Eddie, darling, my wonderful one. Or in Larry's case, first began, Larry, darling, my wonderful one. And it was really basically Larry Darnell's nightclub act. So somebody probably remembered to say, hey, it's time to bring that back, like anything else.
On our baseball show, we played Sister Wynonna Carr. We got a lot of letters on that, and so we thought we should play another record by her. Sister Wynonna was born in 1924 in Cleveland, Ohio, and did most of her recording for the Specialty record label. She wrote all of her own songs, and believe it or not, she earned more money from the sales of her sheet music than from her actual recordings. Here's one of the records she made. I'm not sure where you could find the sheet music, but she's writing a letter to heaven. Sister Wynonna Carr.
If I could write a letter to heaven, I'd do it right away. I'd send it airmail special, and these are the words I'd say. Dear Lord, just a few lines to tell you I'm doing fine. Just your love and your protection have carried me on down the line. I received your letter last night, and it made everything all right. Oh, please answer soon. In your heart, make more room. Sincerely, I'm your child. Yes, if I could write a letter to heaven, if I could write a letter to God, I'd tell him all the good things while on this road I trod. I won't tell him about trouble and woe, for my burdens he already knows. I just say, please answer soon. In your heart, make more room. Sincerely, I'm your child. Lord, if I could write a letter to heaven, yes, if I could write a letter to God, don't you know I would tell him just the good things while down on this road I trod. I wouldn't tell him, Lord, about trouble and woe, for my burdens I'm sure he already knows. I'd say, please answer soon. In your heart, make more room. Sincerely, I'm your child.
That was Sister Wynonna Carr. And if I could write a letter to heaven. A lot of people think that the post office has an official motto. It actually doesn't, but there is a phrase associated with it. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. It is that kind of dedication and fidelity that we try to bring to every episode of Theme Time Radio Hour. Keep them cards and letters coming in, folks, and we'll see you next week. Adios.
Postage due, I have to pay. Postage due on my letters from you.
Thanks for listening to Theme Time Radio Hour with your host, Bob Dylan. Produced by Eddie Gorodetsky. Associate producer, Ben Rollins. Continuity by Eats Martin. Editor, Damian Rodriguez. Supervising editor, Rob McCumber. Research team, Diane Lapson and Bernie Bernstein. With additional research by April Hayes, Callie Gladman, Terrence Michaels, Sean Patrick, and Lynn Sheridan. Librarian, Robert Bauer. Production coordinator, Debbie Sweeney. Production assistance by Jim McBean. Special thanks to Randy Azradi, Coco Shinomiya, and Samson Steiner. For XM Radio, Lee Abrams. Recorded in Studio B in the historic Abernathy building. Studio engineer, Tex Carbone. This has been a Great Water Park production in association with Big Red Tree. This is your announcer, Pierre Mancini, speaking. You know what next week is? President's Day.
You've got mail.